Can't wait to hear.
I did.
Good morning, everyone. We are live.
Top of the line Dell XPS laptop and 1 year subscription to Microsoft 365 for business valued at $2,300.
36 degrees. Anybody else have that?
/Dell.
Right around there, yeah.
The Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is middle of the week, Wednesday, the 24th of February, the 55th day of 2021, with 310 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. I wondered why I couldn't see me anymore. It's because I was looking at a Buick Open picture from August 4th, 09. And found with me playing golf out there in the Pro-Am. What we're trying to do is find one of our conversations. I had a couple of one-on-one interviews, you may or may not recall, with Tiger Woods. And all of that came about from my interview with his father years before. But that's another story that maybe we'll get to a little later today, because we'll be talking a lot about Tiger Woods this morning. With the team. Marie Osborne just finishing the WJR News. Thank you, Marie. Dana Clark geared up, ready to go with our WJR Traffic and Weather first. Brian Morton pressing all the buttons, controlling all the volume and signal that comes. Just as I said that, the volume dropped off completely. Did anyone else notice that? Was it just me, or did anyone else notice that?
Oh, no. It's,
yeah.
Yes.
And Kim alongside, helping out as always with her great assistance, and the woman overseeing all of us and making sure we all stay in line and that we do our homework and eat our vegetables and fruits is, of course, our executive producer, Ann Thomas, running the show by the clock, grandfather clock, matter of fact. Good morning, Annie.
Well, good morning, Deb. Happy Wednesday.
It's hump day.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was a premature yell there.
You didn't ask, so
Well,
I didn't want to know.
I hadn't gotten there. You had pent up hump dayism.
Because I usually go first,
I work it in. I like to mix it up.
I was going to try to do that myself, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, Ann, please. I'm not sure we're ready to see Ann Thomas go, hump day.
Insurance doesn't cover that.
Right.
Yeah, don't think you're going to get any kind of disability. Dana has had to practice this and work this out.
Got to go in training.
Special exercises and all of that.
Right.
By the way, without any extra training and for the benefit of research for the show, and because Kim did it, I had a Long Island iced tea yesterday.
Woohoo! How was it?
But Kim made it at our house.
Oh.
So that means we have no more booze left in the house. And I have to tell you, I was stunned.
I was on the phone when he tried it.
Oh, really?
It does not taste like booze at all. And that made it, to me, maybe one of the most dangerous drinks ever made.
He could be doing a commercial for Long Island Iced Tea.
Yeah, but see, I told you.
I'm not sure this is a positive commercial, because I don't think you should ever drink one of those things and then try to exist. I didn't drink the whole thing. But Dana, haven't you said you've had two before?
I mean, some time in between. I didn't chug them both. You finish one.
I mean, some time in between. They washed the glass before they gave me another one.
But you liked it. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was quite good.
Yeah, see?
But it didn't taste like I was drinking, 7 ounces of alcohol.
Told you.
Whatever it was. And I can't imagine finishing one of those and driving home, or two, forget about it. I'm sure I would have forgotten about it. But yeah, I must say it didn't taste at all like I thought. So it was good.
Good for you.
Now, I did talk to a professional mixologist and he poo-pooed it. Where'd this guy go to school? The culinary something, some highfalutin. Kim is on a delay, so she'll hear me ask that question in just a second, and I'll answer it after we take it. What was it? Culinary Institute of America. And so, I mean, that sounds like a big deal place. And he said, Long Island iced teas. That's not what a mixologist would make. I like to make subtle drinks with unusual flavors and whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
whatever.
No, I agree with that.
It's 5:43 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
Wow. Sometimes the coffee is just extra good. And I don't know if it's because the need is extra high, or if you did something different with the coffee, my love, it's just extra delicious. You made it a Long Island iced tea coffee?
There you go. See?
No wonder.
There's an idea. 7 different caffeines.
Yeah. Let's check that WJR traffic and weather first, Miss Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 33 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. Starting off this morning, accident free, no delays out there. Looking at some construction along your 94 westbound service drive between Fisher and Seneca Street that is closed for construction through November. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World at 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW. For your window, door, or siding project, get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com.
A gusty west-southwest breeze at times today. Otherwise, cloudy this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon, somewhere around 40 degrees. Now, we do pass a front through, breezy and colder tonight. A few clouds, 23. Might dip into the teens in the suburbs. Thursday, some clouds, mid-30s. Friday, clouds, sunshine, highs back into the upper 30s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagicon, News Talk 760 WJR.
All right, I found out what's special about this cup of coffee. I do feel honored to have just found out that Kim actually heated my oat milk before adding it to the coffee.
You're spoiled.
I am now spoiled forever. Made a world of difference. Now, we got a message from the people who syndicate our late great friend Rush Limbaugh, telling us they were going to keep running Rush Limbaugh pieces. And then yesterday, unless I misunderstood, tuned in at the wrong time and didn't know what I was doing, it seemed like someone else was filling in for Rush yesterday. I'm going to presume that we still have this morning cut that we've enjoyed for a long time here at 5:46. Let's listen.
Washington, District of Columbia, is as liberal as any American city. In 2016, they voted for Hillary 91-4, just to give you an idea. I mean, it's a liberal paradise, supposedly. So this news is amusing. Less than a month ago, Washington voters approved a big minimum wage increase for people who get tips as part of their income. The vote guaranteed a minimum wage of $15 an hour by 2026, by which time a lot of residents will have died. But the D.C. City Council has decided the voters were wrong. You see, in the poorest areas, the unemployment rate's over 9%. That's way worse than the rest of the country. So the City Council liberals, they looked at what happened to Seattle. They raised the minimum wage, a bunch of restaurants closed, a bunch of jobs were lost. So the Washington City Council decided they didn't want to have any jobs lost. It's bad enough as it is. So less than a month after it was approved, these liberals are going to kill the minimum wage increase. They'd rather have jobs. They'd rather have people working than talking points. It doesn't happen often. Sometimes even liberals have to face reality. But I predict they'll screw this up somehow because they never get it right in the end.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR.
Hey, Dub.
Yes, ma'am.
On that Rush Limbaugh situation, it's my understanding that, yes, you're right. There will always be a guest host. So a guest host will be doing the show, but they'll be running clips, all-time great clips of
Oh,
Rush.
while they have a guest host.
Yes, in the 3-hour time.
Okay.
That's my understanding of how it's going to go for a while.
I think it's a kind of a fluid situation.
I think you're probably right.
I wonder if it's their responsibility to come up with another show to fill the space on the hundreds of radio stations they've been providing content to. This is the behind the scenes inside radio talk, folks, that are Paul's peeps during Easter time, Lent. This is a question internally that management at radio stations are going to have to deal with. They're going to have to say, do we put a local program on, which I hope we can at WJR, or do they fill in another syndicated spot? Because that's, Rush was syndicated. So there are actually, I don't know what the number is lately, but it was hundreds of radio stations. They're going to have to, they're in the same boat. They're going to have to come up with a decision there.
Yes, you're right about that. Also, background, make sure that you change your rundown to indicate, and this applies to you too, Marie, that we're going to start that virtual radiothon tomorrow at 4 instead of 7.
So what we should say, because you told me that last night, I changed all my numbers. It's not a 24-hour radiothon. It's a 27-hour radiothon.
That's nice. Yes, that's true, except for during Michigan State basketball.
We're pretending that's not really there, but it is there, and you can continue to contribute.
You can
even contribute today, right?
Yeah.
So start contributing.
I had done an interview with somebody that had benefited through the Salvation Army. We're going to be running his audio tomorrow. And I just have to tell you very quickly the best part of that conversation. So the guy obviously was homeless. He went to Salvation Army and they helped him get some issues straightened out. So he got a job. He loves his job. And the day I talked to him, he was just ecstatic. He was going to pay his taxes that day.
Oh, that's a good
Well, if he wants some real joy, he can pay mine as well.
It was just, we're all grumbling about paying taxes, and he says, and he's like, "Yes, I have my money order for $64.
No.
My taxes."
Very similar to my taxes. Yeah, I you know what? In a strange way, I can understand and relate to that. Like, for example,
Proud of it.
Kim has offered to pay bills before. So I like.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760
my bills.
WJR.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, I'm in radio. There were years when it was a real struggle to pay my regular bills. And in radio, there were a lot of deadbeats back in the day that didn't pay their bills. So I always worked hard on doing that. As we continue on this Wednesday morning, February 24th, on this, well, of course, Dana, I'll give you another opportunity. This very special, not just a Wednesday around here, is it, Dana?
It's hump day.
I just want you to know, folks, my radio listening audience and folks watching us now on our social media pages, it costs extra to have her do that twice on one Wednesday. But I think you're special. I think you deserve it. And what the heck? We were just talking about taxes, and I just threw money around. Well, the big two big stories that affect us. Obviously, the most important story is not the biggest story, but the most important story is there's another shooting on the freeway. You start to have multiple shootings on the freeway, then you start to get nervous that there are sickos out there, copycats and others, or just, and this is the question I wrote myself last night, we have to ask the police if they know of any kind of a special heated up gang war or drug war. And I think we deserve to know if that's the case.
Good question.
Because you start to wonder when there's 2 days in a row, two freeway shootings. So
that sound kind of similar too.
Yeah,
the car pulls up and
this is why I think that it's not just plain road rage, as I didn't think it was just that yesterday. because in both cases now, after these shootings or accidents that happen because people try to run away. The average person stuck in a circumstance or situation like that doesn't try to run away. I mean, they're freaked out that they just got into a shootout on the expressway because of road rage. And they also understand that the car they're driving is their car. Whereas in a gang situation, drug situation, could very well be stolen cars or somebody else's car or something. So we're going to have to check deeply into that, and we will. And of course, the other story that is of worldwide interest and getting worldwide attention is the sad story of Tiger Woods in a very, very tough accident. But the good news is he appears to be totally out of danger of dying from that accident. But man, oh man, had he not worn his seatbelt or any number of other little things, had he hit that tree or whatever might have happened when he was completely so out of control that there weren't even brake marks that he ever had a chance to hit his brakes. Wow. It's that's really something. I mean, that's a tough one, and we'll have people talking about that throughout the morning.
I wonder what the heck happened.
He
was on his way to a
He was running late. We know he was running late.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, somebody made the comment, and I thought of it, and maybe all of us thought of it. So you got Tiger Woods in hosting your big event, as he has for a while now, this the Genesis Invitational. He's going to be around. He's going to be around your cars. Somebody, I'm sure, thought, well, God, we'll give him, you know, one of our Genesis, one of our cars. And how great will it be to have him driving, Tiger Woods driving around in one of our cars? But somebody in that meeting should have said, yeah, but how bad will it be if he gets into an accident with one of our cars? That won't look good. But Tiger likes to drive himself. We know that for a fact. He likes to drive. You can't force these guys, although in certain circumstances and in business situations, they do force certain things. Like they say, I know you got your pilot's license, but while you're working on this deal with us, you can't fly. That's what our insurance company says. I mean, there are rules that even the biggest superstars have to live by. You think about just two in a row. You think about Bruce Springsteen and now Tiger Woods. If they had somebody else driving, and this has happened to Tiger a few times, as we unfortunately saw in the news, because they loved trotting out him being pulled over and sleeping behind the wheel of his car because of pain pills and DUI and all this other stuff. You get to that kind of wealth. It's a kind of wealth that none of us can even imagine. But you get to that kind of wealth, you might just have to give up your ability to drive, like we make the president and the vice president of the United States give that up. And I just think it would be a better situation for him, as much as he likes to drive. But I now, if anything, Genesis, who's the car company behind? Hyundai? Genesis?
Hyundai.
For all I know, they're going to come out with a commercial saying, we're very proud of our Hyundai Genesis. It kept Tiger Woods alive. Because, you know, the car looked terrible.
Yeah, he
could obviously
have been killed.
Rolled over a few times. And so the integrity of the vehicle held up in this situation and, in fact, helped keep him alive,
And
along with all the
police were
airbags
saying
all over the place.
Right. The police were saying that too last night, Paul.
Yep.
You're right about that.
So it is 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
All righty. It is, I just noticed here, today is National Tortilla Chip Day.
Ooh.
And tortilla chips were initially an afterthought, but we'll get into that after the news. Anything with food. It's a priority. At 5, as we approach 5:58, Dana Clark, as you know, is here with our WJR Traffic and Weather First. Dana?
Traffic First sponsored by Liberty Title, protecting property since 1974. $2 billion a year is lost to cybercrime and identity theft in real estate transactions. Liberty Title insures and secures your closing dollars, now offering creative closing options to keep you safe, including remote online notarization, curbside, and contactless closings. You have a choice. Choose libertytitle.com. Just looking at construction this morning, 75 southbound at 14 Mile. That ramp is closed through early April. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com offers a variety of organizational solutions for your warehouse, from Unirack pallet racks to carton flow shelving. Get 10% off select products site-wide with code WJR10. One-time use per customer. That's WJR10, Shelving.com. We rack your world. Well, we get another day in the 40s today. That snow will continue to melt. It's going to be breezy once again. Some sun this morning, then cloudy this afternoon, a high of 45. Tonight, partly cloudy, your low 22. On Thursday, we take a 10-degree dip, but we get mostly sunny skies and a high of 35. Cloudy, 36 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News, with Marie Osborne in about 2 minutes.
So one of our Paul's Peeps, formerly Paul's Pals, but for the holiday for Easter and Lent, Paul's Peeps, Jerry just said, Jerry Roeder, Tiger needs a driver.
He does.
No pun intended.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good one, Jerry.
Took me a second, but that's very good.
Yeah, that is a good one. Maybe if his kids asked him, he'll do it. You know, when your children ask you and say they want you to be alive and be here, that may be the only thing that will get him to actually be. Obviously, he does need one.
He had to get up early to do this.
Yeah.
He was up late doing the chores at the Invitational. He is a Superman, but even a Superman has certain limitations, and it seems like the car has been his kryptonite because he's had enough issues.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was early in the morning and you just had to walk out and there was a driver right there for you?
Yeah, I would love it.
I used to have that. Yeah, I loved it.
Really nice.
I used to have a Metro car every morning. Remember that?
Yes.
Mel and Hal.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a great little
nice little
perk that went away. But right. It's very helpful because I could read the papers on the drive in. I could talk to you on the phone on the drive in and not be putting myself and others at risk while I'm fooling around on my cell phone.
And generally, people like that, they are really busy and they can be easily distracted.
Yes.
So it makes perfect sense to do that. Same with Springsteen, Paul. You're totally right about that. Like, what are you doing?
There have been a number of them. We have Stephanie Lee talking about Tiger's father, Lieutenant Colonel Earl Woods, and of course Tiger's dad, who I interviewed, which was my entree to Tiger years later. I had Earl Woods on the show, and it was a lot of the sports guys didn't believe what he was saying, but I believed him. He was telling me that his son was going to be a superstar. His son was going to be a golf phenom. And I heard sports guys around the radio station say, oh, yeah, well, it's just a dad, hoping and talking about his son. And I said, well, this guy seems to be invested in this kid and having him be a great golfer since the kid could hold a golf club. And of course, that all turned out to be true. And this Stephanie is telling us, Earl Woods, golf legend, Tiger's dad, Woods nicknamed his friend Tiger because of his courage and bravery. And then Woods promised this guy, Tiger Fong, this Lieutenant Colonel Fong, that he would name a son after him. And this is what Stephanie says is how Tiger Woods became Tiger Woods.
I did not know that.
I didn't hear that story.
There's an incredible documentary on him on HBO. It's a two-parter. I love sports documentaries. It's incredible. HBO.
You're living with a sports documentary. That's interesting. I didn't know that about you. No wonder you married a sports guy, Trevor.
That was by accident.
You didn't know you were getting married?
No.
Said, what are you doing here? We got married yesterday. We did?
We met it was a blind date, so I didn't know about him. But anyway, it was this Tiger documentary, amazing. You should watch it. Tiger.
And
And does it talk about his dad and his
Yes, it talks about his dad a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering, well, I asked Trev when we were watching it, like, how did his dad know how to teach him? Like, if I had a child, I wanted to be a golf. I couldn't teach this child how to play golf, but his dad, I guess, played golf as well.
Well, but a lot of the stuff he taught him, obviously there was golf there, but he taught him a lot of other things.
Other things, yes, and it's all in there.
He'd bang pots and pans while Tiger's trying to set up his shot.
Yes.
So that he had to develop what he has developed, which was a laser focused on the game itself, which is why originally, some people said, well, he's standoffish. He doesn't even talk to the crowd. He doesn't. When he's playing golf, he's playing golf. And Ann and I have been right alongside him when he's doing that and had our pictures taken and all of that, because it's a pro-am day. It's not an important day. It's a day of fun. He knows that comes with the territory. But man, oh man, when he's playing golf, he is laser focused. And that's one of the things that makes him great. I almost said made him great, makes him great. And more so than anyone before. And I can tell you this, I was at a resort with Phil Mickelson many years ago, with all due respect, because I'm not in great shape either, but Phil was not in great shape. I mean, he had his shirt off. He was in the pool playing a volleyball in the pool, which I thought, man, if I were a professional golfer and depended on these hands, I'm not sure I'd be out there with a bunch of people I don't know who want to really show you how great they are because you're the famous Phil Mickelson, but they're going to be a great volleyball player. And he's got his hands out there. It's easy to break a finger. Anyway, obviously, he doesn't worry about that, but he also had a little bit of or maybe a lot of a little tummy. And it occurred to me. And then when I met Tiger the first time, oh my God, you don't see it on television the way you see it in person. His shoulders came way out here, and then it goes way down to this. It was the most defined V I've ever seen, that I'm sure is true on a lot of athletes that are in fabulous shape. Golfers never felt like they had to be in that kind of shape, really, until Tiger Woods. And now others have done that. And I think he really changed the way golfers looked at what kind of physical activity, exercise, and stuff they should do.
Yeah, he changed the game for sure. But it's all in there. A lot of stuff you said as well too in the documentary. So it's really interesting. It's so good. You can't stop watching it.
Wow.
How many times have you watched it?
Once. And we moved on to the Muhammad Ali documentary, and that's interesting.
It's funny because when I was thinking about this last night, I thought of using, when I say that the world is reacting to this Tiger Woods story, the guy that came to my mind was the one that comes to my mind right away of another worldwide influence in sports was Muhammad Ali.
Definitely.
He was known and revered around the world for what he was able to do and accomplish. And that's true with Tiger. And I don't know if that's so true with many others. Now, I don't know. I wasn't around when Babe Ruth was around. Did the rest of the world, did they all talk about Babe Ruth? Or was that kind of our American thing, like the World Series? And they say, really, the World Series, and you don't invite any other countries to be involved? So I don't know what the reaction is, but certainly Tiger Woods and Muhammad Ali, known by the world, and the world reacting. And we don't know everything, obviously. We know what's been released. We are going to speak to a specialist in that area, orthopedic surgeon of the town.
The Paul W. Smith Show, News Talk 760, WJR.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It's February 24th, the 55th day of 2021. There are 310 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And, of course, around here, you don't just get a Wednesday. You don't just get a middle of the week. Dana, what do you get?
It's hump day.
That is correct. And we are the only morning show that regularly employs the services of a camel.
Yeah, we got to keep everybody working.
Keeps us all working really hard. Of course, everybody for the team. Marie Osborne just finished the news. So the world is okay because she was able to come back here and talk with us rather than running around and saving the world based on what's in the news. Dana Clark checking our traffic, weather, and a variety of other issues along the way. Brian Morton pressing all the controls in the control room, and my lovely wife Kim helping me alongside, and our executive producer overseeing all of us. That's Ann Thomas. Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, Deb. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. We're talking about another shooting on the expressway. We'll give you that story and further details. And we're talking about the bigger national, international story. It's not as important as worrying about shooters on the highway, frankly, but it is a very important story, and that is of Tiger Woods and his accident yesterday after finishing up his duties at the Genesis Invitational. And going to do some more work. And we've already discussed how maybe having a driver is not a bad idea for some of these folks. I'm sure that the boss feels that way, Bruce Springsteen, after what he has gone through. Tiger's had 3 that I can think of immediately, 2 or 3 issues in vehicles that would not have happened had he not been driving. But he loves to drive, so I'm not sure what you can do about that. But the beauty of all of the video they have on Tiger Woods is you get to relive some of those very special moments, like 1997. I'd been back full time here for just 1 year when he won his first green jacket put on by now Sir Nick Faldo, and that was a big deal for this young kid, basically, to be putting on that Masters green jacket. And the first thing I thought of when I found out he was certainly going to be okay was he was really working hard after this 5th back surgery to try to get back to the Masters. That ain't going to happen now.
No.
Doesn't look like it.
Does not look good. But he holds the most records of any golfer. He still is considered the number 1 best golfer ever. And then Jack Nicklaus is next.
There are people who will argue that.
Yes.
I would never argue it. I felt
so.
without question he was on his way to being, without any argument, the best golfer in the history of the game. And I still think that. And I know Jack Nicklaus was great and had his 18, I think he had 18 majors. And Tiger went through some terrible things that, had he not, in this first case, derailed himself with the affairs and the other bad issues, which was unfortunate that had to be brought up in the news, but that's what they do. I think about all of those things that he's overcome, and then coming back and winning the Masters again was probably, I'll leave it up to the sports guys, but I think probably the biggest comeback ever in the world of sports. I just think it is. But like I say, I'll leave that up to the sports professionals. What is? Oh, I see. Simon Owen, Fox News correspondent, WJR contributor, coming up at 6:18 or so. Some changes that the British Prime Minister has revealed for lifting the lockdown in Great Britain.
That should be interesting. And ask him, too,
I'm going to ask him.
Prince Philip is doing.
I'm going to ask him because I cut out a story that Buckingham Palace is keeping news about Prince Philip's extended hospital stay on a need-to-know basis. And apparently, we don't need to know.
Not yet.
And there was a photograph of
99-year-old guys in the hospital. That, generally speaking, doesn't always have a good end result.
And Marie, what did you say?
Prince Charles was leaving the hospital yesterday. They had photographs of him with tears in his eyes.
No.
They got him real. That's what it looked like from the photograph. And
he was quoted as saying, "Oh no, that's William." They don't have any comments from Prince Charles. Coming out of the hospital, but so you saw the pictures and it looked like tears, huh?
Yeah, that's what they were commenting on that too. The reporter who was doing the the update was.
So we'll ask Simon Owen in just minutes about that matter.
And ask him if London is talking about Tiger, kind of going to your point about Tiger being a world-renowned athlete. I bet everybody over there is talking about it.
Well, they even were talking about people. I've stayed up too late and watched too much stuff. Honestly, it's amazing how Fox and CNN can go on forever and ever and ever without really anything new.
I know.
And they, I'm saying, well, you're an idiot because you're still watching it.
Right,
You're
it's the
staying
same
up
stuff.
later than should, and it's the same stuff. You can only see the car turned upside down so many times. But
I do the same thing, though, Dog. I do it. I can't help it.
one of them was talking about the Australian reaction at that about Tiger being in the accident. So, yeah, I'll be interested to hear what they say about London. Meanwhile, we've got to get to our real jobs now, real work. We thanked Paul's peeps along the way that weigh in, and I remind you that Friday will be online all morning, right? And for our Salvation Army radiothon that starts at 4:00 Thursday. I'll give you more details on that. But so from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. we'll be on camera on our social media, as well as 760 WJR, as will all of the radio programming. In fact, following us will be not just Frank, but Frank along with Steve Courtney together. So that'll be a fun, entertaining, I assume 4 hours again for them too.
Yes.
So a special programming coming up on this Friday that you can be a part of. Meanwhile, we got to take care of some business here. 6:14.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International.
It's a new year, but for kids in poverty around the world, things are still desperate. Join Compassion with your one-time $40 gift to provide a COVID relief kit to a family in poverty. Text the word GIVE to 83393. That's GIVE to 83393.
And we've got our WJR Traffic and Weather first, and we've got Dana Clark.
Well, finally starting this morning without any accidents. Paul W., of course, always construction there. The ramps are closed in Detroit. Exit and entrance ramps are shut down for construction along 75 northbound at Springwells. That's through the end of this month. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window, door, or siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com.
A gusty west-southwest breeze at times today. Otherwise, cloudy this morning, mostly cloudy this afternoon, somewhere around 40 degrees. Now, we do pass a front through, breezy and colder tonight. A few clouds, 23. Might dip into the teens in the suburbs. Thursday, some clouds, mid-30s. Friday, clouds, sunshine, highs back into the upper 30s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stejik on News Talk 760 WJR.
And